Привіт, все, стрімимося.
Окей. Ну, я думаю, це нормально, якщо ми будемо щось ще говорити.
Запускати людей вже?
Ну, думаю, да? Чому ні?
Ну так, це вже 59.
Чому би і ні? Ой, скільки гарних.
Веселина з Рінатом.
Там на бекграунді від мене десь відбуваються ще всі додаткові приготування там і так далі. Вау, вже 14 людей, 15. Там всі збираються, сімейний перегляд стріму з Дмитром та Іриною, стріму лапку. Так, напевно, я
Привіт всім.
можу презентацію. Привіт.
Чек.
Так, привіт.
Привіт, Дмитре.
Сьогодні зустріч буде не українською мовою повністю.
Та я ж розумію, що англійською, я ж готувався на англійську. Не як готувався, я просто згадував те, що я розповідав вже американським і британським партнерам.
Найс.
Що?
Можеш запускати вже таймер.
Так, добренько, давай я спробую це. У мене екран
А мене видно
шариться?
чи ні?
Так, тебе видно, Макс.
То я лучше не буду все показувати.
Екран шариться чи ні?
Так, але звук не шариться.
Па-па-пам. Звук шариться?
Так, так.
Okay. We'll have a bit of a countdown before we start. So everyone will get a chance to catch up.
Maybe add additional.
А можеш трошки голосніше зробити, бо не чути?
She said that he should
Good.
change.
Jeg er sådan en grift.
Hello.
I don't know what's going. Well, we hear it now. You know what I should do?
He said that he will try to change dynamic.
Mhm.
didn't forget. So
Hello.
And where is he? Leave it. Yeah. Do you know him?
Hello.
Yeah.
Let's come on down.
What's the name? No.
Audio.
It's young. It's following him since a long time.
Mhm.
Yes.
Hello.
The men who are joining, do you know? Oh,
I think we should have all of the social media shared as well. Actually, we have the live on Twitter. We have. No prawo?
Hear the bells, sweet Dzyga's bells, all seem to say, join us today from start to end. You've been a friend in every fight, you've been our life, brave, even stones, and combat zones like vision black hills. Take the fight, come, one come out, Dzyga's call, come, one come out, Dzyga's call, side, left and right side, left and right side, left and right side, left and right, see how you good to see how you good to
All right, I think we're about to start. That was not us singing, but it was spectacular. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, if you can see what we are sharing on the live stream. Yeah, here we go. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Sound is fine here. Video screen, all good, all good, all good, all good, all good. That's awesome, awesome. I'm really happy to see all of your pretty faces because most of the time I see you as email avatars or Twitter avatars or something like that. But good, 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 good. What we have here today. So first of all, I think I'm very glad to announce that we've been doing this presentation for almost the whole day. So hopefully this will be anyhow interesting to you.
We've been finishing it. We didn't start it today, like.
No.
You're joking.
What we have today is a summary for 2023 and our plans for 2024, which would obviously be a lot of time. So get yourself a nice drink and thank you for coming in here. First, I would like to take a second to think of each and every Ukrainian defender which is defending Ukraine in different positions. Some of them are in the trenches, in fortifications, and driving now in their tanks or IFVs, and some of them are sitting in the underground bunkers, doing the intel, doing the artillery stuff. So big kudos to them because they are the enablers of the whole thing. They are actually the heroes that we are trying to help. They are the real ones. And I'm yet to remind you that all of this isn't fictional. This is absolutely real. This is a real fight for freedom that is happening in Ukraine right now. And this is just a picture of Bakhmut after Russia liberated it from Ukrainians. That was once a city of 70,000 people living in there. So I think you can easily compare that to the cities in your country. For instance, I come from a city that is like twice the size of Bakhmut, so it's easy for me to understand. So I would like to announce a minute of silence for honoring the fallen heroes, because they are actually the reason why the line still holds. So just a minute. Here it is. So just so you would know that in Ukraine, this is one of the, I think, national traditions now. So each day at like 9 a.m., I think it's at like 9 a.m. The life in each and every city, it stops. So whether you're at the grocery shop or anything, people would just stand up and honor the fallen heroes here in Ukraine. So. Anyway, what we have on the agenda. So there is a bit of a intro, and I would announce something that we can do today to help out the heroes. And actually, we would have some of the heroes that we're gonna help today in our live chat because we kind of planned in advance, and they made up some time for us. We would go over what we did in 2023. This would be intense with the numbers. We would go over one of the projects that Ukrainian students did to help our group, to help our initiative. We would go over, we did a bit of a data analysis for you, fellow donors of Dzyga Sport, and we would kind of do a kind of Spotify wrapped, but Dzyga Sport wrapped kind of thing. We also going to share all of the plans for 2024, and we're going to have our fellow defenders who are actually, some of them are already in the stream here. We're going to have a bit of a chat with them. We're going to share the results of that fundraiser that I'm just about to announce. And yeah, that would be basically it. And we'll go over some of the questions. Probably answering the question, where is Dzyga? Someone would be able to stream her with the cameras. She's right in the next room because she's all fancy, because we are so serious now here, and she gets to just lie down at the couch or something. So yeah, here it is. I made this a cut of the previous presentation that we did in February 2023. And this really aged like wine, or rather like milk, actually, because 1 year ago I did that kind of a promise to myself, and I tried to help as much to the war effort to defending Ukraine, to help in freedom, but in the end it turned out that it wouldn't be a year, and this war will drag for a bit more than that. At least it drags already for 2 years, and even before it dragged for like since 2014. But anyway, still this is my challenge, and personally it's gonna change a bit for myself in the nearest future, but still the charity will stay intact. On a more positive note, that I know that we are very international, and when we were digging through the data, we actually figured out that we had donations from like at least 62 countries this year, only this year. So let us know in the chat where you're from. We are now sitting in the city of Lviv in the west of Ukraine, roughly about 100 kilometers from the Polish border, and 1,000 kilometers from the most eastern part of Ukraine with Russian border. UK, France, Ohio, Stockholm, Sweden. That was a bit of a sneak peek. Porto, Chicago, Illinois, Lviv.
Baby.
Yeah, Germany, Canada. It's just great to see how international this is, and I think what kind of unites us in this is shared values that are kind of fundamental to these countries. I'm really glad to see you all here. Alrighty, so. We would have 3 special guests today. There is Dan, who is serving in 47th Mechanized Brigade, which is famous for its recent video of destroy in Russian T80M or something with Bradley. Anyway, we're gonna have him here today, and by a small coincidence, he is Ira's classmate from the university, Vasilina, who is an officer in Carpathian Sich Battalion, which are basically infantry. And she is also lucky to be Ira's school friends from the childhood. And I have a friend of mine here, Max, who is EOD officer in the air assault forces. Yeah, and he is, by the lack of coincidence, he is my classmate, former classmate. So what we're gonna have here is something special. We would have a special issue of Reporters magazine in English, very good magazine that I read a lot, and they have the English version. I think it's even signed by the team who is composing the magazine. So we arranged this as now sitting somewhere in the office. This would be the first prize. The second one would be our merch set with our patches, with our shopping bags, etc. And there is something fancy that we have created with our friend, is this homemade candle and the shell of the grenade, which I think is fancy kind of a souvenir from Ukraine, actually taken from one of the shooting ranges of Carpathian Sich. And we would have the patches of our guests' brigades, units. So there, on the left, there is a patch of Carpathian Sich and their unit called White Demons. In the middle, we have the patch of 47th Brigade where Dan serves, and on the right, we have the patch of Air Assault Forces where Max serves. And to get all of this, we would have two nominations, I'd say. First one would be the biggest donation for the birthday drones fundraiser that we are going to announce just in I think the next slide or now. Anyway, there is somewhere in the chat there should be the link for the birthday drones fundraisers, because Dan had his birthday and that was his only wish when we asked him, get me some of the drones. Also, the next one with Dzyga's merch would be the toughest question of all time. How many Dzygas you can spot in these presentations? And at least see one on the left. The candle would go for your guess that you have to guess now. How many donations we will receive today? Not the amount, but the count of them. And I hope that we would now have the back office will launch like a poll in Zoom. Anyway, you're going to receive that now. And patches would be randomly distributed between donors to each hero. And the link to donate to each hero would be somewhere in the chat as well. All right, you should have received the donations poll count.
Yeah, so in this poll, this is basically your first chance to win. You just enter the response, your best guess on how many donations we will gather today, and whoever is the closest by the end of the meeting will win. I think the candle. Yeah, it's the candle.
Anyway, you can exploit it by just spamming donations with 1 cent, and it will be it. Yeah, here we go. So hopefully you got enough time to make your guesses, and this would be the summary of 2023, which was a tough year, to be honest.
Good. From now on, I'll start. It's Ira, also known as IPA, sometimes on Twitter. Nice to see you all here today. It's been a year since our last community meeting, and I'm glad to see everyone once again and to see so many people from different countries joining. So Dimko already included our first out of the 4 numbers of 2023, which is the amount we've been able to raise with your help, which is more than $1 million over the last year. It came from only 12,500 donations, and we spent a very similar amount to the amount we raised in that year, and sent more than almost 3,000 items to our heroes that are listed on our website that you supported throughout the whole 2023. This is how you donated throughout the year. It's probably a very familiar chart to all of you because you see it in our transparency page. One thing I'd like to mention here is that last year when we were meeting on this yearly community meeting, which was the initial one, folks who were there, raise your hand or drop a message in the chat. It would be cool to see if there are people. I see faces and that are similar, so I believe at least a couple of you were there last year. So last year when we were talking, we announced that we would like to introduce a transparency dashboard on our website, but we'll publish all the donations and spendings. And we did it, basically. That's one of the achievements unlocked for us in 2023. So this is a dashboard you may have seen on our website, and this is the final kind of static version for the last year now. Another point is that we are completely a donor-based organization. We are not partnering with businesses or other organizations much. 85% of the funds we received come from individuals, just people around the globe who donate money to our charity foundation, and the other 15% come from partnerships with other organizations, not individual donors. Basically, you donated from at least 62 countries. I'm saying at least because if you point your eye to the right of the screen, you see the table with top donation counts by country, and you see that the largest number there is just unidentified. Unfortunately, we don't receive data on every transaction. So 5,000 of them, which is almost half, just do not send us the country code. But apart from that, the largest one in terms of number of donations is the United States of America. Congrats to all of you from there. And here are the countries marked on the slide. By the way, you see the Dzyga here. If you're counting the dogs, make a +1 to your account because you'll be asked for the total number of the dogs you saw throughout the slides today. So the next thing is we had another big goal in the beginning of the 2023, which is to move to an institution from just a volunteer initiative. And the thing is, as we started, we were accepting donations via PayPal mostly. And once we registered as a charity, of course, we had our charity bank accounts, and we introduced a payment system on our website, which you can donate using your credit card, Apple or Google Pay, and the money goes right to our charity bank accounts, and which gives us limitations in terms of how can we spend the money. Of course, we cannot buy stuff for ourselves from that money because we have law in Ukraine. And our goal was to move from 70% of PayPal, cash, crypto transactions, or personal bank transactions, and to make that lower than 50%. As you can see, we made it to as down as 25% by now. And 75% of transactions come directly to the charity accounts. So you can be sure that they are monitored by our state tax service. They are monitored by all the legal institutions incorporated in Ukraine to control the charities. So of course we use that for the nonprofit mission that we have. And of course we distribute money for our funds projects and not anywhere else. Anyone can think.
Which is actually a bit of a pain in the ass because it involves a lot of the paperwork.
Yeah, it does. So the next thing is we have Benevity, and it was just a reminder that you can also do corporate matching via Benevity, and we received thousands of dollars from that. And the next thing I would like to talk is the spendings in 2023. So as you saw on the initial summary slide, it was more than $1 million spent. 87% of which was military spending. So it's our spendings basically on the projects we had was buying drones, buying military equipment, buying technological devices, so on and so forth. I'll give more details on that later on. 9% is the operational and fundraising cost. This one includes the office rent, for example, which we are now using and sitting in. This includes the rent for the storage building that we have to store these things in the intermediate location in Lviv before we send them. Also, this includes compensation for people we work with, for our contractors. We have partnered with with lawyers, accountants, with other professionals to help us sustain as a charity in Ukraine. In Ukraine, you have a limit for that, which is 20%. We are now at 9%, which is pretty good. And our goal is to make it even lower and to partner with institutions who would cover just the operational cost so that we do not use any ongoing funds to cover like office rent and stuff. The next thing is logistics, $26,000, which is postal services, fuel, buying a truck that we now have to transport the goods and go to the east and back and so on and so forth. This is 2%. And then another and last spending item here is humanitarian project spending, which is 2%. This mostly includes a couple of projects we had in the beginning of the year helping hospitals in near Frontline in Mykolaiv. And it also includes humanitarian demining projects with State Emergency Service of Ukraine. And we provide them also with drones and other devices that help them just do their demining work. And we consider it humanitarian because we also have military demining, which is under the military spending, which is in combat actions and not on the civilian land. So the next thing is we would really love to create impact with the spendings we do. So we aim for it to reach Ukrainian defense forces. We talk to them basically every day, maybe even every couple of hours. Basically, we are on the chats and Signal and so on and so forth. So we get a lot of insights from them, and we get insights when we travel to them and see how they work. So we are now able to analyze and validate their requests. And sometimes we reject the requests we receive from different units or personalities if we see that it's not legit for the location a person is currently being deployed to, or for the type of their unit, so on and so forth. So we've gathered some of the expertise as of now, and we would really allow to use that expertise to gather our own ideas, suggest them to the military, get it validated, and deliver the equipment they need, which will help them best at the given time. So we delivered 192 parcels. If you talk about really a breakdown that we have by each hero, it was on average, we send a parcel to a hero and worth $4,000. And the total value of all the parcels we have sent solely was $814,000. This number is kind of different from the number we had with the military spending. If somebody remembers, it was a number starting with 9, so it was 900,000. That's because we contracted some of the drones and some of the stuff last year, but we're still waiting for it to deliver to us this year. And then we will ship it to the military. It's not like you spent and exactly the same time you deliver it. There is, of course, a gap between those two. So with your help, we were able to support 69 heroes last year, which is incredible. Just take a moment to appreciate how big is that number. And by hero, we just have it's just like an, I don't know, metaphor for a group of people typically. So just because we build personal stories, We personalize a unit with a single person representing it. But of course, under each of these heroes, there are many, many more people to whom you were able to provide your support. These are some of their faces. We love them, know each of them. Unfortunately, some of them are no longer alive because they were killed during 2023, but most of them hopefully are, and they're still our friends, and we will be supporting them for another years to come. So what exactly do we deliver? For now on, we only choose technological military equipment as our priority. We will no longer focus on any other projects like we did in 2022, even like with toys for kids or with medicine supplies and so on and so forth. We will only supply it if we receive it for free from other donors, for example, because some of you send us some medicine or sweets, but we do not buy it from the donated money. The next focus point is that we partnered with State Emergency Service of Ukraine by signing a memorandum, and we will partner with them for humanitarian demining projects, which I already mentioned. Then closer to the end of 2023, we started 2 new focus areas, FPV and FPV counters. So the important thing is to provide FPV drones, of course, to destroy enemies and to destroy their vehicles. But another big thing is to protect Ukrainian defenders from the enemy's drones, which is very critical at the moment. At the amount of drones we are getting from Russia is increasing tremendously. The next thing is some of the things we've been delivering a lot, like radios, tablets. We feel that we get less and less requests from the units as of now for those items. It feels like some of the units got it well with their commandment or got it from other sources, and we are not really getting requests for basic things like that. So we will focus more on larger projects in general. And then our next big conclusion is that charities are more flexible than governments, and we can quickly fill in the gaps which get formed, and where the government is for now too slow to fill it. So we will be taking up the new challenges and doing it and closing it as fast as we can, because we are not a very large scale organization, which allows us to act quickly. Basically, that's it. So here is how we enable the technological advantage for Ukrainian defenders over Russians. In total, these are just the 6 of the main types of devices we delivered. Number 1 is drones. We delivered almost 200 of them, 197. Then we had a lot of electronic devices like tablets or laptops. Then we had a lot of portable power, which is very important, especially during the winter time. Radios, of course, communication. We typically buy encrypted radios like Motorola's or Hitaris. That's it. And then optics and night vision devices, which are of a great value, typically a bit of a more high-end, expensive. So, but we try to buy and deliver them too. And of course, Starlink's our favorite. Here is a detailed breakdown of all of the equipment categories that we delivered. It's like a very user-friendly table that you can read just with quantities and total values of it. You can see the value of drones is like almost $400,000, which makes it to the half of all the money we spent was spent of drones. And then, yeah, you can see all the other categories. We also brought two vehicles, 2 cars for our heroes, and some EOD tools like demining suits and stuff, and some smaller items which everyone needs, which are cheap and we can provide very fast with just our ongoing donation money. Another thing I'd really love to mention here is that we've developed a couple of internal products, as we have some experience in IT, and we have some good volunteer friends. To enable the reporting we now have, we developed this thing you see on the right, which is called Super App. How fun is that? Where every literally spending that we make, we report it into our internal reporting system because we do not spend only from one account. We have PayPal, we have charity accounts, and we have different people who could make procurements. Of course, it's all like signed and confirmed by the fund director, Dimko, as of now. And every person who is making any spending out of the donated money is reporting it onto the system so that it's located on our website in 2 weeks. Out of that, it's automated. We don't do any like manual edits or checks, which is pretty cool. And then on the left, you can see the parcels summary, which is now in process of development. We also have reporting systems for the items we deliver, and we track, as you can see it by hero. So we track every shipment we make. We track to whom we sent it, the number of items we have there, the value of items, the date. And of course, we have all of the stuff with documents and all of the stuff with photo reports, which is not described here, but we also do it. And we will proceed to the next level with it by publishing it on our website too, pretty soon, hopefully in 2024. And for now, there will be an announcement about the donation. My friend Vasilina should be here. Maybe she will use the meeting chat to tell what is for now the biggest donation, because as you remember, we are raising funds for 3 of our heroes, Dan, Vasilina, and Max. So you can choose the one you like the most. $54.71 is for now the largest. So anyone who donated it is now a leader in winning the Reporters Journal magazine, which is a very good piece.
Also, I think that Vasilina just messaged into the Zoom chat how we are going to make the this whole contest work. So to participate in this, you have to follow the link and press the support button. Just make sure you check what is inside the chat in Zoom. Alrighty, Julio.
Good. Yep. What's next?
Dev. I think that's my turn now. I'm gonna mention this one little story, and I'm gonna tell a bit more of the stories tonight, so you would be able to feel a bit of the empathy to what is happening in our lives now. So on the right, you would see Ira and Danilo, and they are basically classmates from the university. They used to solve differential equations together at the university, studied a lot of math, and now they are kind of in working in a similar direction. Dan used to be an ML engineer, so a lot of math with machine learning is involved. And Ira used to be a data analyst. That is why, by the way, you see all of that fancy data and fancy dashboard charts, etc. in all of we do. But anyway, now Ira is, I think, co-leading the charity to help Ukrainian defenders, and Dan is actually a Ukrainian defender who decided to quit his fancy ML engineer job and join 47th Brigade. So just recently, I think in the beginning of December 2023, we visited them, and I want to have this story illustrate how we felt throughout 2023. When we just arrived to Dan, it was basically an abandoned house in like 20 kilometers away from the Frontline. So we decided that we'll stay with him overnight, had a great of a chat, talked for hours and hours, going through all of the university things, because Dan is my friend as well. Yeah, this was kind of the interaction that I was really stunned by it, on how unfair and how fucked up the life would get. And in that discussion, I think one of the conclusions that we came up to was we have some of the values that we share, and these are the values of willingness to fight for freedom, even if the fight is highly unfair. So we've made that fight a bit more fair by just getting to Dan's unit some of the drones and Starlings that we have fundraised together with you. Many Ukrainians are in a very fucked up situation right now, although I am very happy that at least we are not alone with this fight. So even generally my emotions are like, even if the fight is unfair, this is not the reason to lose hope, and this is still like you still have your heart beating in you to continue your struggle, your fight for freedom. That's how it goes. And we actually brought Dzyga to that whole trip to visit most of the defenders we support. So that's her on her cozy blanket in that abandoned house, and we just had a great night in there because we managed to start some fire in the heater, and that was kind of cool. Sometimes we feel powerless, and it feels very cold, the same way as Dzyga is feeling here probably. But then again, seeing the impact of what we do at the front lines is something that motivates us greatly, and we know this because these are literally the saved lives and defended cities of Ukraine. So I think that's pretty cool. And by the way, Dzyga took it well, and she wasn't scared to be in there. She wasn't scared of the explosions, etc. So no worries in here. This one is something that I also want to mention, because many of the questions that you have sent before the event were on the mental state of us as a group. And I think I have something to say on this, that we are all humans, and this is obvious that we have our emotions, that we have our views, and this is what makes us humans. These emotions, they trigger a lot of thoughts, and they trigger a lot of decisions. We are living in a very, as I said, in a very unfair situation now, and this makes wonders and awful things to some of our brains and how we perceive the world. Some of our fundraising campaigns are also based on the emotions that we feel, on the personal stories, and we probably are about to keep it like that under the current leadership, at least. So just want to let you know that we are digesting this war in a various kinds of ways, but we are very lucky to be in a friendly pack and be able to discuss it together, as within the fund and at the same time as well as within the community of you all. And this is something that helps us greatly, and I know this because I did some of the one-on-ones with volunteers, with employees. They really feel good knowing that they are not alone. They are supported by you, fellow friends from abroad, from far abroad, as we've seen. Yeah. I think the point here I'm trying to make is that most of our team members, or I think even all of them, they have close family or friends fighting. So it's a lot of repeated stress for a long period of time. And just recently, one of our team members, he announced that he is joining the armed forces of Ukraine. So these are also the local challenges that we would have to tackle. As they are our alumni, if you put it like that. So first we will need to find the other person who would be able to take on the job, and at the same time we are committed to supporting them as Zygaspor alumni. So everything they need, we will get them. to the more positive of the story. All of the Ukrainian military, they are extremely happy to see us all the time we come in there. And yeah, they are just happy to see us as their friends. And this was the first time, the only time that we brought Dzyga with us, because in the very beginning, it was kind of complicated for them to explain the concept of some weird dog helping them. But anyway, they got the concept. And when they got this, when we explained, started working together, they all the time they were asking, hey, just let us shake her paw or something, just bring her to us so we would be able to meet. And yeah, this was very lovely. And all of the heroes that we support, they are real professionals in what they do, very intelligent. And I was really happy to meet them. Very friendly atmosphere. And when we chatted with them a lot, they with what we do specifically, they were very happy knowing that they are being supported by foreigners, just because it's something unusual, and it brings, apart from the equipment, it brings them the morale boost, saying that Ukraine isn't alone in this fight. Another thing I would love to mention in here is that there is something very valuable that I have personally learned and in this kind of whole story for me personally, is that it is very important to keep your promises. And this is what we do, kind of deliver on our promises. The integrity is one of the key character features in life, I think. Yeah. So as we brought Dzyga through the whole thing, she didn't really understand the thing, but for us, I think it's kind of important to share it a lot on Twitter. But many of those cities within like 30 kilometers from the front line, they are literally unlivable now. Some of the houses livable, but not so much, like you can see. And most of them are just being turned into the military enclaves or something, which is not cool. There was a bit of a discomfort because the bed isn't cozy as at home. Dzyga is being scared of the cats because each and every house of Ukrainian defenders, they have cats because of the enormous mice problems. And these cats are, best believe me, they are strong. Anyway, Dzyga was a bit worried, and obviously the danger of war, but none of that really bothers us. We are absolutely fine with this. That is okay. War isn't supposed to be comfortable. Yeah, I have a question for you. Tell us, who is your favorite pet? It could be Dzyga, it could be really your pet, your cat, your dog, your turtle. Just let us know if you have any, because I think this is one of the values that we also share with you as a group. My cats, Lahai. My cat Fabian. Nephew? Yeah, okay, got it. My brother's dog, Snoopy. Throughout the whole meeting, we would be kind of sharing all of those. We would be trying to mix the serious stuff with the questions like that. My cat who got painted on an artillery shell gift to the Russians. Maybe I can recall this. I can recall that we've drawn some cat. Oops. Oopsie. Anyway, this is their favorite pet. They say this is literally their favorite pet in the world. And these are the artillery guys that we are helping. Most of their job is basically sitting in the underground bunker and correcting artillery, giving all of the details on how to shoot correctly on Russian targets. Yeah, recap of the projects that we have done throughout 2023. Ira, it's your turn.
Yeah, right. I'll just start and then go do all the rest. So, do you have any guess on how many projects we did? You may remember some of the latest was FPV drones, 50 FPV for 80. But in general, how many? Your best guess. Nothing, no projects.
I mean, 500, yes. I hope so.
42, 21,
42 is a
15,
good number.
19. Whoever said 19, I guess it was Ashley. You're right.
Good guess.
19 of them kicked off in 2023. I guess 17 finished and 2 be closed in 2024 already because the fundraiser wasn't closed till the end of December. Which is a pretty good number. You can check all of them on our website. By project, we mean a very specific thing, which means we are not just sending a small parcel to someone, not sending just one drone, but we are doing something bigger. You see some of the project names in the background. An example is 50 FPV for 80s. It's a big amount of money we have to raise. It's a big amount of work we have to do to find the best partners to get those drones for us. Typically, it's Ukrainian labs which just get all the parts from different countries and then get it together into a drone, and then we buy it from them. And Dimko will go over some of the most highlighted projects. And the first one will be Ukrainian Romance, which we kicked off last year. It was the one we did in February.
Yes, and this is one of, I think, the best projects that we have ever did as an organization. Obviously, we have raised enough money. We have bought all of the equipment. We have delivered this, but most importantly, it was about love, and the love that is being that is directly happening in those extreme conditions. Unfortunately, the guy on the picture, Toreta, his call sign from Carpathian Sich. He was killed in combat in 2023. So we did all of the Valentines with Dzyga. We did some of the videos, and you have probably received some of them. And we have a video of how we delivered those to the unit.
Karpacka Sich would like to thank you and to the Dzyga Charity Foundation and Toronto TV for the night visions. We thank you very much. We appreciate your gift. Slava Ukraini!
Yes, that's how it is. That's how it was. Just want to recap on all of the projects that we did.
Karpacka Sich.
Yep. Here we go. And another was the project for Carpathian Sich. The guy that stands to the right of me, called Billy. Absolute legend. One of the commanders in Carpathian Sich, who rushed. So first, what they had is a Russian missile hit one of their bases where a lot of their equipment was stored, and these things happen within the war, unfortunately. This guy, Billy, living legend, who rushed to fight the fire as soon as he learned about it, and he did that when even firefighters refused to go there, saying it's too dangerous. So he managed to save some kitties and some of the equipment. That kind of tells you a lot about the type of man he is, leading his infantry battalion, fighting in the trenches. So this is kind of sampling the impact that happened, big explosions, and a lot of the equipment was destroyed. unfortunately. So they reached out to us and said, hey, can you help us kind of replenish what we had so we'd be able to continue fighting? And most of that equipment was kind of something technological that obviously gives them the technical kind of an edge advantage in the trenches. So the thermal binoculars, so thermal imagers that gets them to spot all of the enemies at night when they try to assault them, fancy radios that they need to communicate, and all of the portable stations, Starlinks, etc., etc. So we did that, and all of this happened. Another one that is very special to me is the project for raising for FPVs for the drones for 80s Air Assault Brigade. And this is cool because we tried a new approach on this, trying to involve more people into our fundraising by putting them as an ambassadors. So we kind of figured out the infrastructure that we need to get them like a personal donation link. We did all of those fancy pictures to them, help them push their fundraisers, and they were able to work with their audience on their own and raise for some amount of drones. Some of people even raised for 4 drones by themselves, which is good, I think. These are the drones that we have fundraised for, that we bought them, they got produced, and this is one of the best specs that you can get. These are exactly the biggest one, like 10-inch drones, and they are fully packed with top-notch radio, top-notch video, and the biggest battery that it can hold. And this thing could carry like 2 kilograms of explosives, meaning that this is very suitable for hitting vehicles, and as we agreed, we're gonna get 50 videos of them being used in action. So I think this would be pretty cool, and we would definitely share all of them. So because this is something that you have enabled. And this is a small video of Ukrainian fighters from the 80s receiving those drones.
Бажаємо здоров'я. Дякуємо нашому улюбленому фонду «Лапка Дзиги» від 80-ї окремої десантно-штурмової бригади за ці чудові 10-дюймові FPV-дрони, якими ми будемо бити кацапа, поки не виженемо його з нашої священної землі. Слава Україні! Героям слава!
Yes, exactly. Just a few words on them, as we need them as well. They are just ordinary dudes, nothing really too special, just caring about their brothers in arms who are sitting in the trenches, as they are in a more, I don't know if you put it like that, in a more privileged position of being drone pilots. They want to defend their friends, their brothers in the trenches. So what they told us is in the discussions that we had, that they said when we annihilate or destroy Russians, or just don't let them make it to our positions, our trenches in their assaults, the safer our infantrymen would feel. So I think this is one of the most combat capable brigades in Ukraine, fighting in all of the crazy places since 2014. Obviously, suffering huge losses as well. Yeah, got it. And another really special and personal story to us. So 2 people on the left, Chichka to the left, and Maestro. They are like a family, husband and wife, who have 2 beautiful daughters. One of their beautiful daughters is on the right, holding those FPV drones. The story goes like that. Oля, the girl on the right, has a friend who works in our organization called Vasilina. And yeah, they're just really good friends. So they came up with the idea that maybe we would be able to help her parents, Maestro and Chichka, to the left, with anything that they would need. Yeah, all they asked for was the drones to make their trench positions feel safer. Chichka, the wife, she works mostly with the paperwork in the military offices, and Maestro, he's an infantryman. So yeah, this is a kind of a story of a Ukrainian family fighting against Russia. They don't need anything but just the tools to fight the invasion. Sadly, but there are even happy moments when we got all of the drones produced, got them to our office. Oля just called her mother, and they had a great chat, being happy about the equipment being bought, delivered, etc., etc. The war is really wrong, but we don't have other options other than moving on and living our lives within the war, so adapting, unfortunately. Another very special project that is kind of different from what we do usually is saying a big thank you to the Ukrainian defenders. Some of the questions beforehand, before the meeting, they were like, how can we let the Ukrainian defenders know that they are not alone in this fight? And this is exactly how we did, like a project of sending care packages to all of our heroes. This is nothing that they need that much within their work, but mostly like a good pair of socks, good power bank, etc., etc. Good pack of coffee. So rather personal things. And along with that, we also asked you, fellow Dzyga supporters, to write a few kind words to Ukrainian heroes, and we collected those messages from you, and we printed them and put them into the parcels of that we sent out to the Ukrainian defenders. And this is a really touching message. Hope you get a chance to read through it. And this is how we printed this, kind of similar, saying dear heroes, and we also translated this, so original and translated to the right. And this was something that they really loved a lot. All right, I have a special guest here. I don't know, would that count in the special Dzyga competition, in the contest?
How many Dzygas do you see?
Anyway, yeah, she's cozy. So this is the project that was done together with Vasilina. Actually, she is the main lead behind the project. Probably you see her somewhere in the chat. Yeah, and all of the Ukrainian military that we have sent those little parcels to, they were extremely happy to see this. They were yeah, just it was a good personal touch, and they learned that they are not alone. Yeah, this is the conceptual summary of what we did with 1 year, and this is big. This is really big because 1 year ago, when we had that meeting, it was much more chaotic. We were only just starting out. We had a few first people trying to help us, but now this is a whole different story, and I think I'm very proud to say that within the year of enormous effort that we have put in, we have transformed into a kind of a well-established professional organization with all of the right processes and systems in place. Although there are still some local challenges, as I said, like people would join the military or something, there is nothing you can do with their decisions. If they want to volunteer and join the ranks of the armed forces, this is their decision, and we respect that wholeheartedly and will do everything to help them. Yeah, local challenges indeed. Back in the day, within God, that just feels like whole lifetime ago. We didn't have 1 year ago, we didn't have all of that fancy transparency, all of those dashboards, all of those spendings public on the website. Now, at this very moment, we have all of the parcels that we have sent out published on the website under the right hero kind of a tab, and you can see what we've done. All of the donations and all of the expenses are public on the website. You can see this like now. If someone will get the link in the chat with dzygaspol.com/transparency, there he is. And we did an app, as Ira showed, for tracking all of the expenses. And I think that's pretty mature of us. So we would be able to collect all of the expenses and all of the proofs for this. I think that we have effectively distributed extreme amount of funds. Didn't do anything like this before in my whole lifetime, and I think this is a great responsibility that I think we managed so far. I think also that was an extremely successful year because we are still alive. And there is still Ukraine, there is still Dzygaspol, and we are still fighting. So I think gotta be thankful for what we have. And as I said, as we are kind of formed into more of an established organization, we hit this kind of a plateau. We have more of the resources to dive into other directions, which we would go through when we're gonna discuss the plans for 2024. And now I think I'm up to ask Ira to take the lead and also tell what she's been up to, what was taking so much of her time and why she came back home at like 11 p.m.
Wow. All right, I think you made this little thing in the middle of the screen.
That's fine.
I'm not sure how to delete it, but okay. So, and for now, that's it for the summary of the last year. We are done. We mentioned all the projects and numbers, and we have this one last piece of the things we've been doing. So during the summer, I was invited to teach a little elective course in Ukrainian Catholic University, which I've studied in for my bachelor's, and it was a course as a part of the social responsibility courses block on the applied sciences faculty, which is basically not teaching the students math and programming, which you mentioned, high math as not the most pleasant memories, but to teach them something more related to the current state of the country we are in. There are a couple of such courses going on there, and a couple of them starting. There will be courses on military preparations, basically, and on military tech for those students, as they are specifically IT students. And this course was about charity foundations, different nonprofit organizations in Ukraine and abroad, and how do they operate, solving different cases and getting examples of different scenarios. And I want to invite one of the team of the students who are doing projects on that course, and they will present the results they got. So please welcome Vlad here. He's just joining our studio, I'd say, and he will go from now on. Okay. Oh, there is also a reminder about the largest donation. Sorry. So at the moment, it's $100. Thanks, Vasilina. Hello, Mr. Student. Okay, another question. Sorry, slides were added and they were mixed a bit. So another question to you is, do you remember your first donation? It's basically related to the topic of the project students were doing. So please enter the meeting chat and tell us, where did you join us? Where did you donate for the first time to Ukraine in general, to the cause, and maybe to the Dzygaspol charity in particular? Be happy to see your responses, and then you will see some of the analysis on that. June 2022, pretty early. Dimko's PayPal early in 2022, August 2022. So you're pretty much old donors, so to say. No abuse. Cool. From Max was one of the first heroes.
He'll be here today.
December 2021. Lisa's rocking it. Cool. Nice. Thank you all for all the responses. I don't see any 2023 here, so that's a pity. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So this is our project, Dzyga loyalty project from EPSAQ student. Hello, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself and my team. We are third year OQ students, generally interested in data analytics and helping our country. We worked on this project doing our courses on charity foundations managed and taught by Iryna and Dzyga. Generally, the project is about the retention of Dzyga donators. The motivation of the project is a better understanding of the reasons behind donators' behavior and finding ways to engage users more. The aims in calculating the retention and exploring the patterns of donations. To achieve this, we use data from Dzyga's payment system. And in the later stages of the project, we also incorporated data from open sources like Google Trends. The data from the payment system was anonymized to prevent any privacy violations. Also, we delivered the project with the help of our mentors, two co-alumni, Dimko and Paulo, that are also a part of Dzyga. Next, what we actually did within the scope of this project. First of all, we calculated the retention of users. Overall retention is what percentage of donators continue to donate into fund, and we can say that it's a loyalty of you. We also analyzed sums and numbers of donations in different periods, explored some regional donation patterns, developed a set of models to forecast that retention, and made a list of the most engaged donators. Also, you can see the points in bold that were the most insightful for us. But let's move on to the real numbers and start from basic data overview. First thing that interested us was understand who Dzyga donators are, where you live, and from where you donate. As transactions had a lot of additional data, we were able to find and analyze country of donation origin. And here is a plot of donations that had information about country. We can see that US is in the lead by a wide margin. After that goes Germany and Great Britain. Those are the top 3 countries by donation count. But overall, we can see where donors of Dzyga live around the world, and we can see and we can form a profile of such people. But except a number of donations, we are interested in amount of donated money. From the creation of fund until October 2023, people donated to Dzyga more than $1.6 million. That is an unimaginable amount of money that supported the army of Ukraine and saved a lot of lives. But country-wise, our top 3 changes. Even though US is still in the lead, Ukraine gets 2nd place and moves Germany to the 3rd. Also, we can see a very big chunk of other countries, and that is because of some donations that didn't have full information, but throughout history of funds, they donated a huge amount of money. Also, in that other chunk are US donations, UA donations that didn't have information about them. Now let's slowly get to retention of users and why it is important for a fund. First of all, we found out that less than 1/4 of people that donated to the fund, they created a huge influence. And in fact, they created almost 2/3 of all funds raised money. Also, in quantitative means, almost half of those transactions were from such users, which is a huge chunk of audience, and it would be great to understand better them and why they stick to Dzyga. And we are sure that most of you today are the part of those users, and you led fund to keep going. Also, considering discussion about donations, we can plot how much money was donated by people who donated once, twice, and so on. We can see that people who donated once generated sort of all raised money. But I would like to focus your attention on that green part of chart, which corresponds to people that donated more than 5 times. They donated almost 40% of all money, which is a great amount, and it shows that people who are engaged in Dzyga they make a huge difference by their donations. Now let's move on to certain countries to see what are patterns of their donations. Here we can see plots of days of donations in different countries. A bigger column, more donations, is that particular day of months. And we can see that there are similarities and differences in all countries. For example, in US and Germany, we can see that almost all days are involved in the donations, but that may be caused by overall high number of donations from those countries. Also, we can focus on those darker columns that mark most popular days and see that for some countries, most popular days are 25th, for some 5th. Some countries deviate from those days, but overall we can see what days dominate as donation period among our audience. Also, what is more interesting is a period among donations. There is probably two main frequencies, weekly and monthly donations. And for different countries, preferable frequencies are different. For example, we can see that for US, there are a lot of donations that are done with exactly 7-day period, which is pretty cool consistency for donations. For other countries, monthly frequencies are more popular, like in Germany or Sweden, or they're evenly spread, like in Great Britain. Overall, all those information gives us more information about our donators, how they're engaged, and how we can behave to suit them better. So what does our retention and analysis show? What we can clearly see in this analysis is that Dzyga SPO became a much more mature fund in terms of keeping its audience over time. Just as an example, this slide shows donated sum to the fund by the time with dates of new newsletter. Of course, dates of newsletter correlate with starts of new projects or some tweets, but this plot still shows how the fund is now able to call its community, and it did receive help from it right after. It is very especially obvious for letters announcing new fundraisers like the one with Da Vinci Wolves. Our other example shows what part of the total sum of donations each month was taken by some part of users. So we have new users, we have retained users, meaning those that also donated in previous months, returned users, meaning those that haven't donated for some period which was bigger than months, but decided to donate again, and unknown users that we could not identify, but they're actually in one of those three categories. Don't get confused with last 2 months. This had uncommonly big sum of donations from new users, so the lower share for old users is not a problem. In fact, during the last half a year, we got more than 50% of money from our loyal community and almost 70% in 1 month. For comparison, we brought info about average import over all observed time. Here is the diagram of overall share by groups through time. The figure of returned and retained users together is indeed a bit lower than 50%. We mentioned even higher figure at the beginning, but those included people donating several times in a single month or day, and then stopping. The currently shown figure is about people dedicated to bringing value from month to month. This is about your consistent help through 19 months of the data span, and this help brought 40% of all money. Just imagine that 4 out of 10 turns in each order over 1.5 years were bought by this community. So our last, but yet very important question, why do you donate? During the project, we had a hard time understanding the factors behind retention and your loyalty. So we lacked details in our data. That's why we built a list of most consistent donators over given 18 months of work to interview these people and ask these questions directly. Here's the plot of all donations by those users, amounts to the left and time of donation on the bottom. The names are anonymized, but you can find yourself with use of maybe date of your donations, of amount of donations that you did. Maybe some of you even can find yourself at that plot. So our final recommendations. The previous plot brought to one of my teammates, Roman, an idea about an individual recap of paths with the funds throughout the year. Something called Dzyga Wrapped that allows to feel the impact of you that you brought to us, to Ukraine. And it's another way to express our gratitude to your help. The funds team will tell you more about that future idea later. Other than this idea, we have 3 recommendations. The first one, to adjust newsletters dates. Also already mentioned interviews with users, but in a repeated manner over funds life. And focus on building up the community to increase share of those people who donate not because of news headlines, that are nearly impossible to predict, but because they trust into Dzyga's team and their goals that are much more dedicated to our victory. So in that, I want to thank you. Thank you for contribution to victory. Thank you for impact on Ukraine's safety. And thank you for donations that save lives to our soldiers. So I will now give Dimko the lead.
And at least thank to you, fellow donors, for the interesting project for fellow computer science students, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, sir. All right, let's get back into it.
Great. Thanks for this, Lau and the team. So the next thing we'll show is basically the thing that came out of the project students did. Because one of the things they started telling us, even while they were doing it, is that you should connect with people who donate to you, and you should talk to them more, get some more insights, interview them, and maybe do that on a regular basis, which Vladislav just mentioned. So Justia from our team did that project. She interviewed a couple of you folks, those who are on our community Slack. Received a message with interview questions, and we already featured a couple of those stories on our website, and we have many more to go. So I guess at least Thomas and Ashley, I saw you on the meeting. I'm not sure if you already saw the featured articles about you, but we were extremely happy to read the answers to the questions we asked you, and you can see the featured quotes basically here on this slide. And we will be doing these projects more and more, and we will try to reach out to as many of you as we can to get insights from you and to share more information so that other people from all around the world could feel similar, I don't know, and could relate basically to our story and to your story specifically.
And just in case, if you as we have this for quite a time, this community Slack, if you want to join, just let us know, just email us at hello or something, because we didn't really anyhow promote it or build it up, but this is one of the plans for 2024. So your help there would be greatly appreciated.
And there was okay, now it's time for another largest donation reminder. Vasilina, thanks. It's $259.07.
Yeah.
Thanks to whoever donated it. You still have chances to beat it. Okay, and the next thing is that we used the data that students gave us and used the ideas they suggested. And one of the coolest suggestions we heard was to make Dzyga for Red. And this is yet to come. We really hope to implement it and to send emails to all of you with your Dzyga year in review, featuring the numbers of donations you made, the projects you donated to, and some interesting characteristics. But for now, we'd like to give a little teaser on what we've been working on. And I know, Dimko, do you want to go through that?
Okay,
go through that.
Yes, first, the single largest donation was, there was a tremendous amount being done as a shared kind of a project with another organization, but $55,303.6 US. This is extreme. Anyway, just don't get lost in this, because this is a donation from a Ukrainian business within the shared project to buy an enormously big strategic UAV called Shark.
Love your comments on that.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, just don't get fooled. We don't expect you to beat this donation today. The amount of unique donors in 2023 is over 7,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. Although they were, some of them were fellows. Some of them included kind of a NAFO fella, 400, more than 400 of them. included something regarding NAFO or fellas in their messages. And the most popular donation was 102.2 US dollars. And I have an explanation for this real quick, because this is the default donation amount that we have on the website. And this also covers the processing fee that we have for international transactions, which means that most of the donors, they were generous enough to cover the processing fee within the payment provider that we have.
Yep, so they donated $100 basically and had the fees covered for us.
Yeah. Now it's time for something really heartwarming and something funny. I'll read this. My daughter will celebrate her birthday, and instead of gifts, she wanted to donate money for Ukraine. She decided for Vlad because she loves outdoors and she wants the people in Ukraine to be able to take a walk and be safe. Just for the reference, Vlad is our humanitarian demining specialist within the emergency services of Ukraine, and he is basically our way into the humanitarian initiative that we have, humanitarian demining, because really a lot of parts of Ukraine are covered in explosive devices, and he helps mitigate this issue. And this really warmed our hearts when we read this donation. The second one is a bit more funny. Hi, I'm not gonna pay Musk to message you. I'll pay you directly. Probably meaning that since Elon took over Twitter, you are no longer able to message if you don't have this blue check mark or something. So I bought a bunch of domains like cheaprussianrealestate.com, sort of as a joke, because it's obvious that Russia sucks. If you want to use it to stage some sort of meta humor operation or something, I'll gladly point the DNS anywhere you like. This is hilarious. This is straight up hilarious, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, 80 donations is the largest number of donations from one person. And people also left 103 exclamation mark in the donation notes or in the comments. This is tells a lot about the emotions that people have. So just that you know, we read the notes, the comments that you leave to us, and this sometimes is really heartwarming, sometimes really funny. Thank you for that. And just slightly less than 20% of the donation include the specific campaign. The leader on that was 50 FPV for 80s. And then there was a Slava Ukraini fundraiser when there was a Ukrainian defender who got killed for saying Slava Ukraini. And we connected with his unit and helped them as well as we could with the equipment that they asked for, in the honor of Alexander Maciejewski, the hero that was killed for saying Slava Ukraini. And the Revenge Drones takes the third. That was our kind of emotional response to what Russians did at Kakhovka Dam for just blowing up the dam and creating enormously ecological catastrophe and a lot of destruction comparable to a nuclear strike. So we were not happy about this. And 4.7% of the donations are sent to a specific hero. And this is a word cloud kind of heroes that you have sent the donations for, of Vasilina, who is now here, Max, who is now here, and Dan, who is now here as well. And there is one supporter that donated to 12 different heroes, and I can definitely tell that at least he promised to attend, that there is one guy who just recently discovered our fund, and he started donating like $10 or $20 to each and every hero that he found on the website, and he does that for like a week already. So big kudos to him if he's still here. And probably the most important thing that you came up here to see is the dog. So really a lot of the donation includes Dzyga's name in it. And many people say, I love Dzyga. Dzyga. Say hello to Dzyga. Give Dzyga a belly scratch. Remember to treat yourself, Ira, and Dzyga with ice cream. And hey, Dzyga, have a scratch behind the ear. Actually, when we were preparing the presentation, she had a lot of those scratches behind the ear and belly scratches because it was hard not to get distracted by her. Yeah, go Dzyga, I guess. And special moments together, some of the, as I said, it's now kind of a community, a family kind of. So happy birthday to Dimko, 17 donations mentioned this, even though we didn't announce anything like this. Ira had 20, so she beat me to it. And Dzyga had 5. Actually, Dzyga is about to have her birthday in 2 days. So she's in 2 days she'll be 4 years old. So okay, young puppy. Anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, and happy wedding. Not to us yet, but to other people who had their wedding and did the fundraising with our fund. Yeah, this is it. That was the recap for 2023. And then we have plans for 2024. As you're more intelligent, would you take lead on this?
All right. Okay. So we basically read through the questions you left in the registration form, and there are a lot of them. And some of them were things we didn't even plan to include, basically. But after we read it and after we noticed there are some things that repeat, we decided to include it. And of course, we planned to include our plans for 2024, but we added this intro kind of thing with our feelings before entering into a specific list of plans and with the things we have been able to analyze and understand throughout the last year. And Dimko decided that he will go through it.
Yeah, sorry.
He had some
I'm just silly. Anyway, this is something that is almost impossible to predict. Really, a lot of things isn't anyhow dependent on us as an organization, as a group, and some things are not even dependent on Ukraine as a state, as our military. But anyway, this is a fair assessment that we came up with. So first, I think that is very important to kind of understand where we are in this hierarchy. So most of the heavy lifting in the war of that scale isn't done by volunteers. It's mostly done by Ukrainian military, who we are wholeheartedly trying to support, and they are actually the main topic of this meeting. They are the reason that we still exist. And this is being done by the allied countries of who help Ukraine with first economically and then militarily by providing military aid. And even still, like, we are a drop in the ocean, and even some countries that help Ukraine, they are also a drop in the ocean because of the scale of the warfare that is happening here. Although, at the same time, we are able to do tremendous impact on the lives of our fellow heroes, because we cannot sit still to do nothing, and it only works as a big kind of a machine, and this war is as big as it gets, and here we would need all of the components of it: volunteers, civilians, military, allies, etc., to work as a whole to ensure that Ukraine is able to stand against this aggression. So we must do everything possible to save our friends, our heroes fighting. And this is what we do as a group, I think, as a group together with you. But we are just lucky to be, or unlucky to be, here on the ground and do this. On the other hand, we 100% believe in our military and political leadership, and I don't think, just in case if you read some articles or something on this, we are absolutely on their side, and we believe them absolutely 100%, no question at all. Although there are a shitload of things broken, and we realize that the government is too slow to fix those things in time as we need them now. So that's where we step up. And this is kind of the synergy that we are trying to achieve with the government that we have. So as I said, or as I wrote sometimes on Twitter, Russia is a very tough enemy to fight. And this goes unquestioned. Even like yesterday, I've seen a ranking saying that Russia was second military power in the world right after the USA. Although maybe it is not like that, it's stupid to dismiss them. They are a very tough enemy to fight, and still Ukraine does this for years already. Unfortunately, the war takes a big toll on Ukraine, and economically and demographically, it's an absolute disaster for Ukraine and for allies as well, because no one wants to fight a war, because anyhow, war is economically unfeasible. Building ammo is economically unfeasible, and for Ukraine, war is stupid because people would want to leave the country because it's too dangerous. That is just a fact, goes unnoticed for many people, but I just want to highlight this here. And this is a pure miracle that the allies have agreed to support Ukraine economically. Basically, these are just your governments saying that we understand that Ukraine is screwed up because of the war, and Ukraine isn't able to sustain its economy. You are and your government are the reason that Ukrainian economy still functions, that I am able to go to the grocery shop and buy something with the money, because money still have value. Yeah, so these are just kind of wake-up calls. The war is very bad on the economy in any country. As a charity, as the organization, as a group, we think that the victory for us, the victory condition, is when Russia is no longer a threat to Ukraine and the world. And right now, Russia is a very active threat. If they decide to freeze the conflict, they agree to some peace deal or something, they probably will still be a threat, but this would happen in like 5 or 10 years. But so far, no peace deal has came to the ground. As one of the key values in the organization and one of the key values in my life personally, liberty and freedom is something that we are ready to fight for. This is still the most important thing. Yeah, one pager. Go for it.
All right. We are coming very close to the Q&A with our guys from the military units, Selena, Dan, Max. So hold tight, and this is the last big part of this meeting, our plans for the next year. Of course, we have more of them, and we have them broken down by different departments, kind of. Our departments are just one-man departments or one girl. But still, we prepared this one-pager for the main key streams we will try to focus on during the next year. So we analyzed how much money we've been raising in 2023, and we would like to raise a little more on average, and with a big focus on coming to businesses or other organizations and trying to establish partnerships and succeeding in it. So our average donation amount throughout the last year monthly was almost $100,000. It was 99.2 or 3, and we would like to make it to $100,000 from individual donors, but then on top of it, get at least 30K from businesses. So we are really happy to collaborate with any businesses, preferably abroad, who would like to support Ukraine. We could do shared projects together, buying big drones or buying many small FPV drones. If you have a business which seeks for something like that in terms of their corporate social responsibility, which is very unlikely, like buying drones for the warfare, but still, if you feel like you could promote it and your workplace, or you feel like you have a group of friends, for example, who would like to get there and do your specific projects and sign your specific drone or buy big UAVs like Sharks, Lelakas we developed in Ukraine, which are brigade level drones, and you're very happy to write to us and we will create it together. And the next thing is to constantly improve the website and the payment system. For now, we are facing a lot of issues with accepting international payments. You may have seen it. Our conversion rate for payments on technical side is 74%, which means like 3 out of 4 times you succeed in paying us, and then there is this one time you fail. It means the payment system won't accept your credit card. And this is because we are located in Ukraine. We accept donations only in national currency through our official accounts via the credit card payment provider. We cannot accept it in dollars due to limitations of the National Bank of Ukraine. And sometimes it would fail due to double conversion, or it would fail because your bank would block Ukrainian merchants. There are many, many reasons for that, and we will be working hard to improve it. We even have ideas on registering entities somewhere abroad, but we are still considering it. For now, we are just having this one legal entity in Ukraine, and we'll be focusing just to do as much as we can to improve this payment conversions. Then we'd like to develop the donor community. For now, we have this small Slack with 15 people who are the closest to the fund and who made group fundraisers for us without our participation. We would like to grow it. So if any one of you would like to join, email us, or we will just send the link to Slack community later in the chat. And this is a place where you can talk to each other, share your thoughts, just as you're doing in this chat here today. And we will be trying to do more community projects. Of course, there are us on the community Slack, so it's a faster way for you to reach out to fund team like Dimko, me, other volunteers and workers that we have. The next thing is to expand our presence on various media, socials, and international events. We've been receiving many messages and questions about what are we going to do in case Twitter or X fails, or in case it gets, I don't know, too expensive, or in case Musk does something crazy again. This is one of our strategic goals, to take it out of Twitter and to move to other social media, to move to other media platforms like news, to move to other channels in general, to communicate with the donors and to visit events in particular, which we tried was the NATO summit, for example. Then tell stories of our heroes in video format. We do not have videos like as our standard practice for now. We just use text, photo reports, email marketing, but we really understand that we need to tell stories of those people and show them and show real people who are talking. So we will be filming way more videos and publishing video interviews and publishing perhaps video blogs from our frontline trips. We typically just don't have enough time and resources to do it, but as it is our goal now, we will do it. That's the promise. And then develop automated publishing of shipments and detailed reports on the equipment we are sending. For now, we have sophisticated reporting on the donations we receive, and the next huge step is to have it sophisticated for the money we spend and parcels we deliver. And of course, last thing here is a very interesting one and a unique one in its kind. So the biggest thing we focus on is working with donors. But when we were thinking of the next year, we thought it is very, very like it's a good thing to think about the defenders and heroes, and there were projects where different units we supported, they were not connected among themselves, and some of the expertise we gathered from one unit was critical for another unit, which is now in completely other direction. So in 2024, we will be launching Dzyga military community, which means we will be trying to connect not only you donors, but to connect the heroes and units we support so that they can share their expertise, they can share where they get the drones, where they get the batteries, how they fight the enemy FV drones, and so on and so forth. So we hope this will work well, and we already had a few successful cases in a couple of last months just by creating a chat and connecting 2 or 3 people. So we think if we connect all of them, this will be blown up.
Hope so, and I think that long term this is a good thingy because as I have researched the US military veterans programs, it is a very good thing for them to stay connected through a longer period of time. So hopefully when the war is over, they would be able to still stay connected because they would be the ones who are able to understand the best themselves.
All right. And okay, that was not the last. The last thing is to boost and grow our volunteer involvement. For now, we don't have many volunteers from abroad. We have local volunteers who are mostly our friends and people we really trust and people we know for a long time. But as of now, we can see that we have the processes set up well, and we have our institution set up so that we can scale the volunteer movement and enroll more people, and we will be able to manage them and give them specific tasks that they can help us with. So more to come on that soon. I guess we will create kind of a sign-up form while we will ask people about the skills they can bring to our work. Specifically in terms of the work with videos, there will be a lot of work to do. Also, we will be trying to increase on the channels on social media, and that's a lot of just kind of work that pretty much any professional could do if they have the tools we give them and the photo materials we give them. So we will do it. Stay tuned if you're interested. Good. And now it's time for the next questionnaire. If you remember, we had this kind of nomination for another prize, which was counting Dzyga dogs throughout this presentation. So please enter it in our poll, which you should have seen as of now, and you will get your chance to win.
Just submitted my answer. I have counted 42 of them. That is the answer.
All right. Next thing now, finally.
Okay, I think the first one will be Vasilina, who is an officer in Karpatska Siege. Vasilina, you with us?
Yeah.
Can we see you? Hopefully we would be able to. Yeah, I can see you. Hello, looking good.
Hi. So the connection is not very good, so I'm not sure that.
It's okay, not the worst.
Yeah. So I'm happy to see you. First of all, happy to see Ira and Dima. See these 2 years. From the very beginning, 2022, I was the press officer of Carpathian Siege. It's the battalion of the Ukraine, and beginning fight finish to Donetsk region are the hardest far. Me on Telegram.
Right. I think there is an issue with the signal. Maybe we can somehow dial in through the phone and not via internet, but I'm not sure if typically in the war zone, what you have is not the oh my God, cellular. You have just the Wi-Fi from Starlink or whatever.
Yeah.
You won't have your typical phone calling service. So it's a pity we cannot hear her well. Vasilina is now in Liman, pretty close to Russians, unfortunately. So you can't have like a stable internet connection, but still. It's very cool we had a chance to see her just for a couple of moments. Maybe she will be fixing something, or we'll just
I think she maybe we can turn off the video.
or maybe turn off
Let us all turn off the video and we'll try like this. Vasilina, we can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So the Starlink has some problems now. It's the usual problem with Starlink now because a lot of militaries here use it. So what can I tell about Lapka Zyga? We were friends with Ira from 2016. I was also a volunteer and a little bit a press officer of Carpathian Siege from 2014. We were all volunteers then. We were not in military forces, but we have some friends with Ira, and we together helped. In 2022, Ira started to be an active volunteer, and I started to work in military forces.
Vasilina, you're muted, so please unmute. I do not.
Zamute us.
Yeah.
Super.
What was the last that I said?
That you have joined the military in 2022.
Yeah, but as I knew Ira from 2016, we also were volunteers of Karpatska Siege and had a lot of friends in the battalion then, because the Karpatska Siege battalion was from 2014. And only in 2022 we started to be a part of military forces of Ukraine. So in 2022, Ira contacted me and just asked if we need something. It was a big surprise for us that they give us a lot of technical supplies because a lot of volunteers give food, clothes, but what about the technical supplies? I mean, drones, some charging devices, thermal imagers, Starlinks, and so on. It was not so easy to get in the beginning of this war because in Ukraine there was almost nothing, and the so young fund as Dzyga was so successful to gather money and to buy everything from abroad and to give us it so fast. It was a big surprise for every one of us because we have a lot of huge funds in Ukraine, but I guess Dzyga from that time, these 2 years, were one of the main funds that support us. And what is also the main what I like was work with them, that they do not work like big funds where you just contact people, write letters and wait the answer and everything is so official, but here it's really the work with friends. We are happy to meet them every time. Sometimes they come to work with us, and sometimes they just come to meet us, and it's also a big support for us. And like from these 2 years, Dzyga SPAU give us a lot of tablets. One of our best projects was Ukrainian Romance, and together for really very expensive night vision devices that were like the best that we have from these 2 years, and we are using till now 2 of them, and 2 of them we just how they were burned in the when they were talking about the rocket attack, in our base. So a lot of supplies that Dzyga SPAU helped us was we lost them in this rocket attack, but because it was our main base. But after this, Dzyga SPAU also helped us to gather another supplies, and by now, really, as talking about our company, because we have 3 companies in our battalion, and Dzyga SPAU work with one of the companies. So all our technical supplies mostly is from Dzyga SPAU. What, I don't know, maybe you can ask me something?
Yes, absolutely. What do you need now? How can we help you as a group, as a community?
What's the main now? Russians are moving forward in technique appliance so fast. And for example, we were first to use drones, and we were first to use FPVs, but now Russian use FPV drones a lot, really a lot. You can imagine it's been, for example, as we have 5 kilometers of front that we are responsible for, and every day it's like dozens of FPVs drones that they use to our several positions. So they have a lot of FPV drones, and for us also it's by now drones are the main thing to win this war, I guess, because first of all it's used by intelligence, and the second it's used like bombers and FPVs. That's the way you can take part in war and be as safe as it can be. So this is what we are also trying to gather now, as much drones as we can. Also, Russian use a lot of technique that is like making our drones break. So usually, like our battalion, which is about 1,000 people, and we lost about from 5 till 10 drones every day because Russians work against this.
I see. Vasilina, what did you do before the invasion? And I understand this is not very polite to ask, but how old are you, and what have you been doing before the invasion?
I'm 31, and before the invasion, I was also making PR for different companies, for business and for musical bands. Also, I was organizing some concerts, some events. It's the best what I like. I can say that I'm trying to organize some events also here, just to to have at least something from my civilian life because I miss it so much. I was living in Kyiv, and also I miss Kyiv so much. That's why I think it was the project with Dzyga of Ukrainian Romans. It was like some interesting event for us, for all of us, and I hope for the donators also.
Yes, indeed. I hope so. Creativity is the trick for all of us. That was a great pleasure chatting with you, Vasilina. You are awesome. Keep kicking. Say hello to everyone at the base. We love you all. And say them that all of us here gathered, all of the Dzyga Sport community, we are with you. We're gonna help you as long as we can, at least.
I want also to say that we really feel your support, every of you. We really feel it because every time we write or call to Dzyga Spol, we know that they will support us, and we know that behind them it's a huge amount of people from all over the world that are with us, and this is what helps.
Thank you. Awesome, awesome. We're gonna move to the next guest that we have. By a miracle, he made up time for us. Danilo, you're here? I hope so.
We need some time to move from Donetsk region to Zaporizhia.
Indeed. Danilo, you're with us? We cannot hear you well. We cannot hear you at all. Okay, I can see you now, sir. You're like in the somewhere in the vacation spots. Cannot hear you at all. Like, dude. I bet there is something with the microphone. Meanwhile, people ask, what's with the rave lightning? All right, you need a minute to sort out the issues, right?
Yeah, Danilo probably forgot how to
An
work,
IT
yeah,
dude.
how to work in IT, you know, turn off the mic.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we can hear you well, sir.
Great, great.
How do you
Sorry
feel?
about that. Sorry about that. What's with rave light? Okay, so it's actually sort of be part of New Year's atmosphere that we are managed to kind of set up here. Yeah, so that's just like New Year's stuff around. Yeah, I tried to. Yeah, let me. Yeah, that would be better. First of all, sorry if my English is a bit rusty. I haven't had any practice for a while. It's incredible to see all of you here. Yeah, I guess I have to tell a bit about myself, right? Yeah. Yeah, basically I studied computer science with Ira here. We were basically classmates. And that's how we befriended each other. Fast forward to 2022, the war started, and Ira with Dimko started this amazing fund, charity fund, and I decided to join the military. So our friendship kind of went to the next level. Not only personal friendship, but also this awesome cooperation that we are having. Yeah. So yeah. Dimko asked me to share a story how I decided to join the military, and basically it wasn't a straightforward decision for me since I was working as data scientist or machine learning engineer, and basically I had a choice either to stay and apply myself to either solve some problems or at least to support financially the military, which is also very important. And the other choice would be to go to join the armed forces. So basically, I stayed for a while. I think I decided in April that I'll be joining, since at that point the other thought kind of was that this feeling was burning in me, that I just can't kind of sit and think that some other guy named Mykola or Serhi is protecting me, and I can't do anything about that. And yeah, it was just this emotional thing that I just can't stand sitting. Yeah, I just can't stand being civilian at that point. So yeah, I started looking for some unit, and right at that moment, 47's assault regiment was forming, and they did probably the first successful campaign to acquire motivated personnel, and they had their interviews and questionnaire and everything. So it looked like a unit you would like to be in. So I applied. I went there, spoke with people in the 47th battalion, and decided that yeah, I'll be going. I wasn't sure what would be my role, but it didn't matter as much. When I basically signed the contract, I was sent first, before going to 47th Regiment. I was sent to Britain for basic training. I was trained there as infantryman, then got back to Ukraine, joined 47th Brigade, and I was interviewed once again, and basically they decided that I would be most suited as mortarman. Yeah, I was happy about that, because artillery is great. Yeah, but then in my unit, we were thinking what we lack as a unit, and basically, while we had great people who worked very well with mortars, we didn't have anyone to manage the radios, and no one knew how to handle air reconnaissance and correction of artillery fire at that point. So basically, since I kind of prepared before signing the contract, I had some knowledge about that, and was assigned to lead the squad that would be correcting the fire. Yeah, so we started preparing. I taught some people, and so on and so forth. And then when we got to the training grounds with the whole battalion, we were noticed as quite effective unit, and basically battalion it's right before the summer offensive decided that they will build the air reconnaissance in our battalion around my unit. So that was what I was building during the offensive. So during offensive in Zaporizhia, basically we had to provide air reconnaissance and also correct the artillery fire, but it was in development while fighting. So basically, I was talking to new people and training, and also flying our drones, and yeah, a lot of stuff was going on. So now basically I have my unit. We are providing battalion with air reconnaissance, as well as right now we are developing the FPV component to the whole thing. And yeah, that's basically it. That's my role right now. Also I think I should tell a bit how we started working with Iryna and Dimko. I think I met Dimko a couple of days before signing the contract with Armed Forces in some coffee place in Lviv, and he was walking Dzyga. And I said, "Hi, Dimko, I'm joining the military soon." And he said, "Call me when you need something. We will figure something out." And yeah, from that point on, when I was appointed to the battery air reconnaissance, the first thought that I had, fuck, how we're gonna get enough drones to do our operations. But then I remembered Dimko, and he was the first one who sent us the drones for training. The first one who sent us drones for basically summer offensive. And now he's helping us with air reconnaissance and with FPVs in Avdiivka, where we are deployed right now. So that's how it started, and it was awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Dan, and that was a pleasure having you, a big pleasure helping you. You're a great dude, and say hello to all of your friends in there. You're doing a very heroic job, and we are all behind you in the rear trying to help you as much as we can.
Thanks. Thank you. Maybe any question? Maybe I should expand on something.
Let's see if we have any in the chat. So Ross asks, Danilo, are you expecting to get the UK donated drones anytime soon?
I'm not sure what the model or what is the type of the drones UK provided. Sorry, I'm a bit behind the news, I guess.
So UK agreed to provide like 100 of or 1,000 of long-range drones, similar type to Shahed drones. So we would be able to bomb the shit fuck.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. And we are dealing with a bit different level of air reconnaissance and also assault missions. We're kind of mechanized big battalion, so we have our sector, and we are responsible for kind of not. We are responsible for a sector on the front line. So I envy dudes who will be working with long-range UK drones, but unfortunately it won't be us. The other thought that I had that I haven't mentioned, I saw here one fella, Alex Ferguson, who provided us with Mavic 3 thermal. So I would like to take a chance to thank Mr. Alex for this donation. And Dimko told me a story about Walter Ferguson, granddad of Alex, and it was kind of inspiring to see that continuity in our fight for democracy. Thank you.
Just a quick another question. Do you know the fellow from the Bradley who were in that Bradley destroying T90M in that famous video?
Once again, who were destroying what?
So there is a video now from 47th Brigade of Bradley completely annihilating the crew of Russian T80M or T90, I think it was. Do you know them?
I'm not sure what crew was. That. I'm not personally acquainted with them.
All right. Hope they are doing fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're doing just fine. Alrighty.
I've got in my drone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. In my drone crew, I've got a couple of guys who were Bradley crewmen, but right now they decided to switch. So we have kind of a mix here. Some people were drone operators from the beginning. Some of them were infantry. Some of them were Bradley crewmen, artillerymen, and so on and so forth. So yeah, a good mix.
All right.
I guess there was a question. It will be final one for you then. Do you want anything from Amsterdam? Carla is in the middle of packing now, so hopefully she can bring something for you.
From Amsterdam, I'm not sure. So yeah, sweets are always great. So yeah, if you have a chance to kind of throw in there some sweets from Netherlands, that would be wonderful.
All right, they are suggesting strop waffles. I guess these are very tasty waffles. So
you hopefully. People who love sweets,
sure.
Here.
All right.
Yeah, all right, cool. Thanks you, Dan. This is awesome. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for defending Ukraine.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. You've got a great community here. Yeah, bye.
See ya. And we would pass it on to the next member of our great community, to Max. Max, are you with us?
Check. Hello, guys. Do you hear me? I am on the server. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, exactly. We can hear you.
Okay, first of all, nice to see you all here. Thanks for all who participate today. Okay, let's start about something about myself. I am a professional military. I am joined the armed force in 2016. When I finished the school, I decided to go to the military academy in Lviv. Then I studied for 4 years, and in 2020 I am joined the armed forces as an officer. War started for me not in 2022. It started for me in 2014 when I was in the school, and I hear the news that Russia invaded. I decide then after I finish the school, I join the military and try to help my country as much as I can. So yes, it's the main reason why I'm joining the armed forces here. Next, I'm finished the
tell us about the bridge operation.
About this famous bridge operation, yeah. So for me, it's like a regular mission, nothing important in this day. So my commander says to me, Max, you need to go to the Bilogorivka and make some common reconnaissance to the river and check where the enemy can make bridge. Yeah. So it's simple for me. I do this. I tell my commander here, here, and here. The enemy maybe wanna create a bridge here. So the next day, my commander said me, Max, is exactly in this place where you predicted. Enemy tried to make a pontoon bridge. Yeah. So my commander said me, okay, let's go one more time, and you must actually see this bridge and tell us if this bridge in this place. Yeah. So I moved to the Bilogorivka. I actually don't remember, 7th of May, something like that. Then I confirmed the bridge exactly where I predicted, and the fight starts. Yeah. So I remember Dima text me and say, "Do you know something about Bilogorivka? It's 10th of May. It's like 3 days. Yes, 3 days later." And I say, "Yo, Dima, I know all about this because I be in this place." Yeah. So Dima tell me, okay, write this on the Twitter. I help you. Actually, I'm so worried about it. I don't know how it. Actually, I don't know what's the result of this tweet. But it is what it is. Yeah, and it's one of the famous tweets I ever do. And after this tweet, a lot of people know me. That's all. Yeah.
I guess that operation got really famous because Russian got really stupid in there, and they lost like 1.5 BTG of their troops and vehicles in that one single operation. So I think that's pretty cool that you enabled all of the other branches in the military to do their job properly, just because you did your job properly, just did the good reconnaissance and provided the right intelligence on the situation. Tell us more about the situation on the front, what you are seeing and what is happening at the front line, what is the hottest places now?
Okay. Actually, I can tell a lot of the details, but on my direction where I'm for now, the main problem it's the counters enemy electronic warfare. Yeah. So we as we hear before, Ukraine first start to use FPV and drones, but for now, enemies use a lot of them against us. As my perspective as an engineer is it's the hardest part. It's actually the deliver mine to the right place. Yeah. So when the group works, enemy all the time monitoring all the ground, and we can't just walk to the right place and land the mines. Yes. So for now, it's our main focus is how to counter enemy electronic warfare. About the whole situation on the front, I say it's very hard, and as I talk with my military friends, it's not easy solution for now. Yeah. For my perspective as an engineer, our main goal for now is to land a lot of as many mines as we can. Yeah. To prevent enemy counterattacks for our position. So that's all. Yeah.
Makes sense. Tell us more about your cooperation with Dzyga. How help you? And actually, have you met Dzyga?
Actually, I do. You know answer for this question. For my cooperation with Dzyga started the first day of the war, of the full-scale war, not the war, was a full-scale. Yeah. So Dima, you text me and say, Max, do you need something? I have some money for donation from a Twitter. Actually, I don't know. In the first day, actually, I don't need anything because my unit where I serve, we actually have all what we need. But a few weeks later, we see this footage how someone used drones and then other use drones. Yes, and my first request to the Dima, if you can help me, give me some drones. Yeah, for the reconnaissances. For the reconnaissance. Yeah, for the first mission is for reconnaissances. As I remember, first parcel from Dima, it's be the first parcel from the Dzyga SPO. Actually, it's first. Yeah, they deliver me 10 mine detectors, some drones, suites, and engineering multi-tools. Yeah, and from this point, we start to cooperate, and Dzyga SPO completely equipped 2 full engineer units with right equipment. Oh, yeah, actually, that's all.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. You know, as we are here as the community of a whole lot of people from abroad, not from Ukraine, but from the US, from Germany, from the United Kingdom, etc. What is your message to them? How do you feel about people from abroad helping you?
So I am 100%. I am 100% know the people from abroad support us. So I have a little conversation with the US military engineer, and they tell me a little story. So their 6-year-old son study Ukraine. Yeah. They say me if our government our government have some problems with communication, with equipment, that's not a reason they don't support Ukraine. So that US officer tell me a lot of the warm, and they support Ukraine continuously. And they read my Twitter and a lot of, and I try to read all of the comments the people leave to me, and they support me all the time. And I really appreciate for this warm word, this help for me, for my units. I can show this to my guys and say, guys, we are not alone here. People from all the world support us, believe in us, and they really help us to do our work properly. Yeah.
This is really great to hear. Any specific questions to Max? Just put them in the chat, dear people. Meanwhile, Max, hope you're good and safe. You're somewhere in the underground bunker or something.
No.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I can say where I am now.
Yeah, you're a big commander now.
Not so a big commander, no. It's not true, but a little commander, yeah.
All right. There is one question. How has your new unit needs evolved since the bridge incident within the limit of what you can share?
How it's evolved?
What now? What does your unit needs now?
My units, for now, not only one my units, my whole units, as I say previously, is the most dangerous for my groups. It's counter electric warfare assets from enemies. Yes, so we need anti FPV, anti drones backpacks. So it's the main equipment what we need for now. Yeah, this is the main what we need.
Another question. Do you think that the training is improving in the Ukrainian military?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. It's evolved from post-Soviet training to the modern war training. Yes, so the recruits now learn how to operate with drones, how to use FPVs, how to use digital maps. Yeah, so it's really a big step forward in the military training. Yeah.
There is one comment saying that many pro-Russian accounts on Twitter think that your account is run by the CIA, American Secret Services.
Okay, if I post some photo with my US friends, it's a very okay. No, it's not true. My account run by me. Sometimes Dima helped me with the text, but it's run for, it's completely run for me. It's not a CIA project, as some can say, but I tell a lot of the good word to the US people, to the US government, because I feel a lot of the support from US, and from other countries, from United Kingdom, from France, Poland, etc., from all the world, but US the most. Yeah, that's the answer for the question. I don't know, Russian bots. I don't care about it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Do you guys always have enough food? Judging by your face, I can tell.
Yeah.
You're all fed. Let's excuse our friend's humor. I think that would be it. We're gonna be wrapping up with the chat with the defenders. Thank you, Max, for finding enough time for us because it's very late, obviously. Still, you're doing a heroic job. Thank you for your service. And this is awesome that we can support you as a group and as a community. You're a hero.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the lot of the warm word. Thank all who participate today. Thank you, guys, for your support.
Awesome. Do we have any more slides?
We have the Q&A slide and the fundraiser results. So as we are getting it to an end, perhaps I'll share it and we will go through that real quick in just a moment. All right.
Right, we need our back office to help us out with the results of our crazy contests.
Yeah. So you had your time to donate, and for now the biggest donation is not here yet, I guess, or maybe I need to refresh the page.
Yeah,
One
maybe,
second.
maybe.
All right.
Oh, you nailed it. Show that as a slideshow real quick.
Okay. Can you see the slide with the
Yeah.
donation
You should
summary
be able
now?
to see. No, you're not seeing this. Resume share.
Okay. A second.
Yeah. Do you see this? Just let me know in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
That's cool. Awesome.
So there were 3 nominations, I guess. The biggest donation for the community meeting fundraiser we have received from Tracy Barsh. Not sure if I'm reading it correctly.
Hope so.
Whoever was just about to donate 100,000, go for it. We'll think of other prizes for you. Congrats, Tracy. $500. If you donated through official charity bank accounts, it may have been cost, like it's not coming to us in seconds. So if there is anyone here who donated more, just tell us. But for now, Tracy is the winner. So you will get the Reporters magazine, which is a unique piece with wartime stories that summarizes the last year in Ukraine in a very good manner.
And in English.
Of course. The closest one to the correct number of Dzygas in our presentation today was Ian. Ian, congrats. I'm not sure if all of these people are in the meeting because we are a bit over time, but still, congrats, Ian. His guess was 19. There was 20 in total. I guess there was no one who said 20. Dimko said 42. So good luck, have fun.
All right.
And the closest to the correct number of donation we have received, there are 2 people, as I can see, Rui and Andrea. 23, their guess, 21 total count. I bet there will be more because I see the donations coming. So they will get closer to the truth. And we are wrapping up for now. We will announce the winners of the random raffle draw for the patches after the meeting, because we will need some more time to do it. But for now, this is the final results. And we will contact you via email. I guess you provided that, guess you registered for the meeting for sure. Now, they are telling me to come back one slide. Okay.
Yeah.
We skip one. This is the thing we would like to finish with is how to help accept money. We were getting a lot of questions like, apart from donating, what can I do to help? As I already mentioned, we will be announcing volunteer opportunities. This will be mostly things you can do online with your computer. It's related to the charity work. It's not directly related to talking to military or to like driving to the front line or to coming here to sort something in the office. There are many opportunities like that in different locations. I guess there is Rich in this meeting, and he has his volunteering Ukraine, and they have a lot of opportunities if you want to come exactly here in Ukraine and help. But for us, it will be mostly online things you can do if you're a professional here or there. So we will share it. The next thing is just share your ideas. If you have any fundraising ideas that could help, or if you have any fancy drones that people near you are building and you can send them, or if you can make up some more creative projects for us, just share it, write to us, and we'll be happy to chat and go from there. Then initiate projects and carry them out. We've been facing a couple of that throughout the last year, where our people on Twitter just gathered together to raise some money, like Fall Fellas, for example, or Thomas, a great supporter who continued his online fundraising efforts just on his own. It is a very big deal for us because we have very limited resources. And when you start something on behalf of ourselves and you didn't create fundraising, it's just great. Next thing is set up collaborations with various companies and organizations. I talked through that in the beginning of the meeting, so I won't focus too much. And then just tell your friends about the situation, about us, about Ukraine, about the defenders, and tell you met some of them now.
And they are not CIA.
Yeah, they are not CIA, they are real people, our friends, and hopefully now yours. So thank you all. If you still have some questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and
Or
that'll be it.
maybe unmute yourself and ask them. I get that this was very long discussion, but thank you for being with us today. By the way, the slide says that we have raised tremendous over $2,000 just this evening. It's almost 11 p.m. here in Ukraine, so we'll still have some time before the curfew to chat with you. If you want, just unmute yourself. Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. I don't know. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, let's chat for a bit with those who have the time.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
No,
I was just thinking about one I was your age, about 20-ish. I'm from Germany, by the way. I'd never have thought of doing something like this, but on the other hand, I didn't need to. So bad luck makes opportunities. I think you made the best of it. I think really.
Right, and I can agree to this because of this kind of fucked up situation. It pushes you, it forces you to create, to innovate, and to overcome it. We are, I think, somewhat are lucky and unlucky to be in this spot, to have this kind of a skill set, to have the opportunity just to the sole fact that we are able to speak English, it helps tremendously.
I think so, yes, I think so.
And but then on top of that, you have a shitload of skills that you need to do to run the whole thing. It's kind of a multi-component thing. Anyway, somehow it works. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for showing us your work.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm curious, what was your greatest challenge since you've been up and running? How did you overcome it, and what do you think you learned from it?
I think I do have definitely a greatest challenge to share. I think 2022 as a year for the organization was one of the toughest, because initially it wasn't meant to be anyhow an organization or something. It was just a personal initiative, nothing more than that. And within that personal initiative, I think I have made tremendous success of delivering the equipment to the friends that I had fighting. So first spending a bit of my money, then I kind of became unsustainable, etc. And starting as a small personal initiative and then being dragged for so long, and I have become so exhausted of this. I have become really tired, and that was kind of really hard to make this last push with the decision to stop being a personal initiative and not just bury that into the ground, but instead to try to multiply the impact and find like-minded people that are gonna help you with the whole thing, because I had so much on my plate. So then, and I was so exhausted already, that was really hard to make that kind of a last push. It's not only about finding people, but also working with them daily, and that's a shitload of work to be done. So we would have kind of a shared vision on how the organization would run. and all this being done within the very limited resources. So I think that was kind of a challenge, but since then it kind of became much easier, because once it's not everything on your plate and you have kind of a clear responsibilities over some of the strategic directions, etc., it's getting much easier, much easier.
Yep. For me, that's a good question. So for me, I think the challenge every day is whether I should continue run it or I should go join some unit and just do the work in the armed forces. Because every day I feel like that so many of my friends are making sacrifices, and I feel like I'm here just like I can have my morning coffee, you know, walk my dog, sleep in my comfy bed, except all the like air raids and stuff, which we are used to. It's like normal. And for me, I feel kind of guilty that I'm here and they are there. So basically every day it's like a fight within myself, whether I'm trying to like from one side tell, okay, that's where you need to be, like there, not here. And from the other side, I know about all the tough and huge structure of the military and the commandment, and it's a question, where am I more efficient and effective, and where can I do more impact? So, and one day I feel like I need to go and do some work there, and another day I just wake up and think, okay, if I have the skills, I speak English, I have the connections, get like $100,000 a month to convert it to the equipment with the team we are working, maybe it's like, maybe it brings more impact than if I go and join some forces. But still, somewhere in the, like, I don't know, the truth is somewhere in the middle, perhaps. So that's the challenge. Thanks.
Good, thank you. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава.
Героям слава.
Cool. Any other questions? As we move into 2024, what do you see as the highest value per dollar assistance you can provide to the military units? That is where you most looking to focus for Dzyga's beyond drones. Beyond drones. All right. So for me, the first answer was drones, but beyond drones, I think that would be counter drones. So you call it REP in Ukrainian, because drones are really taking lots of lives of the defenders, and we need to think of how to make the technology cheaper. Maybe talk to some local groups developing anti-drone systems, which could just save lives, because as Russians are starting to put it at a huge scale, it's very hard to keep people alive, like people who are in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a window of opportunity, I guess, with those FPV drones, just because the countermeasures, as it's a new technology, the countermeasures are just not there in the quantities that they are needed to be. There is a big production process behind this, reverse engineering process, given that's a new technology that both Ukrainian and Russian forces are using. So definitely we're trying to get into this window of technology, window of opportunity for the offensive. At the same time, we know for sure that Russians are much better in mass production of things like that. In fact, like yesterday, we've got one of the samples of Russian FPV drones right in our office, just so we could reverse engineer this. Yeah, so the war is, there is a famous saying that the war never changes, and I agree to that. Conceptually, the war never changes, but on the tactical level, there are changes literally every day, because if you are trying to survive, you'll come up with the new ideas, and these ideas will be both offensive and defensive. I see a raised hand of Alex Ferguson. You here, dude?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just going to say, you guys are fantastic because you've laid out a path to show people how to help Ukraine, and you've been really good at messaging that. But when it comes to drones and stuff, don't be afraid to ask for more help. So a colleague of mine at Imperial College actually designed what's called a failure criteria for modeling composite structures, and that's used by the American military and NASA. And I've actually literally gone and asked him and said, if Ukraine gave you a brief, would you be prepared to volunteer your time to help? Now, he can't go and fight, but he's a world expert in predicting failure in composite structures for aerospace. He doesn't know how to help, but he wants to help. So, but you guys have shown that if you lay out a clear pathway, so it's like, if you do this, you can help Ukraine, and your messaging has been fantastic there. Maybe there's ways, like, I know you're targeting companies now. That's fantastic. Obviously, you guys have been great at targeting private individuals and showing them how we can help Ukraine. But yeah, you guys are great at laying out a pathway to help, but maybe don't be afraid to ask for help for more niche stuff, because every academic colleague I've asked at Imperial, where I said, would you be prepared to do a little bit of work here and there to help Ukraine? They've said, yeah, of course we would, but how? And yeah, you've started with private individuals. You're going to companies. You've clearly worked out a process of how to make it easy for people to help. So just a thought. There are lots of people who want to help, and you've been fantastic in showing us how to help. But maybe you can explain to some of your colleagues a way of, obviously if it's that sector, it's going to be more defense, but there are people who want to help, but we don't know how. You've helped me help Ukraine. But maybe you can give some lessons to some other people in terms of, this is how we made it easy for people to help Ukraine. Because actually, that's actually quite important. I notice if I post like a tweet saying, bonk this person, like shut down this propagandist, if I don't basically make it really easy to find their account, the number of times they get dog piled by cartoon dogs is much lower, unless I literally signpost it and say, ampersand, space, their account, report them for this. Just make it really easy. And you guys seem absolutely fantastic at making it really easy to support Ukraine. So maybe, I don't know, maybe share why you've been so good at that. I know it seems simple, but it's great. And it'd be wonderful to see maybe more organizations learn some lessons from you.
All right.
Thanks. Actually, your thoughts get me to the point we got when we were doing the planning. So the thing we've been doing for the last year and a half was basically just like, I don't know, commerce kind of thing. We were just buying stuff and delivering it per request. But now as we've grown, I think we need to develop the analytical part of the organization we have, and to really be able to connect experts in niche things with people like who know something and people who need something, and to make it work together. And this is a really, really good thought, and I think we'll be working on it, and we'll be getting more into like focusing into smaller pieces, into smaller streams like this with FPV drones or counter drones, and maybe choosing it, settling a team to work just there and to become experts in what we need, or maybe research the groups who are creating something here in Ukraine and they really need professional advice, because most of them are just, young people who started learning something out of YouTube, and they are building these things up. And of course, they will be it will be beneficial for them to talk to someone from aerospace engineering, So it's a great thought for you, and we'll definitely be working in that direction.
And just as a showcase, we could have this kind of a community of Dzyga Sport supporters, because at least there are professors at various UK colleges here in this meeting. At the same time, there is Ira's professor here from her university. Or what is his position? I don't recall.
He's vice rector now.
Vice rector, yeah. So, yeah, good people in here. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, friends?
Hi, I'm a French Canadian. Excuse my poor English. I knew Dzyga by Roman on YouTube, and I tried to let know your foundation in Quebec. I tried to wrote many times to Radio Canada to let people go to check your organization, but continues like that. You are young, imagination, technique people. I love you.
Thank you, sir. Great to have this support from Canada. Hopefully, the time will get peaceful soon, and we would be able to travel the world and meet all of you here, dear people.
And open your bike shop.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. If everything works out. So far, it doesn't.
Yeah, any guess how many bikes we have at home?
That's for the next quest or next Zoom call. guess your bikes.
Alrighty. I don't think that we have any more questions. At least I don't see any. Thank you very much for being with us. I can see another questions on how do we maintain emotional strength. Yeah, I think that there is no easy way of doing this, especially seeing being sick, seeing the war and seeing death, but at the same time you see all the other options that you have, and obviously you decide to live, to create, to fight, to stand for freedom. I think this war, it highlighted, at least in me, the values that I have, and these values are something that I try to stick up to, and they keep me going because I know what I am fighting for. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. We wouldn't be taking any questions, and this was really a great time for us to spend with you today, and hopefully we'll be able to do more of those meetings. That was fun to prepare, fun to be with you today, fun to have all of the heroes, and I'm very thankful for your support, and very thankful for you finding time to spend with us. You're awesome, and we are awesome, actually.
Thank you all, and have a good night or day,
Yes.
depending on where you know.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Ciao.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Thank you, tous. Bye.
Bye.
Bonsoir tout le monde.
Bye. Na dobranoc.
Na dobranoc.
Bye.
Na dobranoc. Good night. Yeah.
Na dobranoc.
Dobranoc, yeah, that's right.
It's hard. It's hard to learn for me.
What can I say?
You'll learn.
I keep learning. Bye.
Bye.
Well, Dzyga.
I am not speaking a good English anyway.
But that's good enough.
Your English is better than my French.
All right, yeah. I'm calling it a day. Gonna have some pizza and run home to the curfew.
Bye.
Go. Bye.